Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in a group of people that make money, hopefully life-changing gains. But the truth is, 90% of people are going to lose money. And in this video, I'm going to give you some really good news and a lot of alpha. And we're going to talk about a profit-taking strategy. Because, guys, I am full-time crypto. All I do is either trade, make videos, and research. That's pretty much it all day, 7 days a week. And I follow the smart money. You know, one thing I see in crypto is people sound smart and they tell you how phenomenal a project is, but then they can't tell you who the competition is on Wall Street or from the banks. Well, that's what we do on this channel. And I'm here to tell you, guys, Wall Street and the banks and the governments are dominating crypto right in front of us. So I know this altcoin season and this cycle is different. It's not even debatable. The information comes out every single day, but no one wants to talk about it. Now, why is that so important and why do I keep harping on this stuff? Well, because, guys, first of all, 90% of everyone lose money. People are starting to extend out from the influencers that have been wrong for multiple cycles. And now they keep extending it. Oh, well, wait till the next cycle. Wait till 2030. What are you talking about? 2045. Guys, if you understand the big picture, if you just zoom out and go, what am I dealing with? I truly believe you can make life-changing gains in the next 6 months. But if things go like what I'm seeing, and we don't have the altcoin season that people think, which I believe we're going to have an altcoin season, but I don't think it's going to look anything like what people are talking about. So I want you to think about something. You may miss this entire cycle waiting on something that you think is going to happen, but it's not happening. Guys, I'm just going to tell you what I see. That's what I do. I do my research for me, and I share with my community. Therefore, I don't always tell you what you want to hear. Most influencers, they wake up in the morning and they just want to find bullish information for their favorite tribe and community's token. Well, guys, they'll always find it, or heck, they'll make it up. So I'm going to show you what's happening. That way you'll know to get aggressive taking profits. Guys, you have to learn to extract money from this asset class because the smart money is here. And what I see, guys, right in front of my eyes is what Wall Street is doing every single day. While you're hodling or FOMOing in, they're extracting. And guys, this is a blood sport. For me to make $1, someone has to lose $1. So think about that. For a big powerhouse exchange, a market maker, a company like Ripple, when they pull out billions of dollars, how many retail people had to get their butt kicked for them to extract that type of money? And it's getting to be just too easy, so I don't think it's going to stop. That's why I'm making these videos and harping on it. And bear with me, guys. I'm going to give you some examples of proof that this is happening and that this works, and hopefully help you. And if you need some help, we'll talk about it at the end. But guys, please bear with me. I want you to just at least hear me out or consider it, because I don't remotely think that altcoin season is going to look like what it has in the past. Just like this year, we've had about 7, 8, 9 times. We may be going through like the last one, right? Altcoin season. How many videos? Altcoin season, altcoin season, altcoin season for 2 straight weeks. And now this week, the people that FOMO'd in, right, bought projects like XRP at 360, already about to go back under $3. Same with any project. People FOMO in, oh, here we go again. Well, guys, it's too easy. So let me tell you what they've been doing, and then we're going to get into the really good news, and stay with me because it's going to help you make money in this bull run. All right, guys, when you put in $10,000, like right now, let's just pick one up. You buy Arrow, right now at, what is it, 85 cents. And you put in $10,000 or $1,000. And let's say in 3 weeks, Arrow's at $2. You way more than doubled your money. Well, but you got 10,000, so you made 10,000, 12,000, 14,000 profit. If you put in 1,000, you've made, $2,400. You've got $2,400, you made $1,400. You're like, oh, let it ride. Here we go, altcoin season. And then imagine if you had $10 million, $100 million. So if you put in $10 million, you just made, say, $14 million. See, they were taking profits all the way along the way. So they probably didn't make the entire amount. They probably ended up making $9 million. But they extracted $9 million from this blood sport. The guy with $100 million extracted, what is that? $100 million would be extracting $10 million. In a blink of an eye, he just extracted it. Do you see what I mean, guys? So if you're sitting around just waiting for altcoin season, what if they keep doing the same thing? Why would they not? It's too easy. Little money, retail, I say this with love. On Wall Street, they call it the dumb money. They sit there and hold. And then the sheep just hold. And the wolf just extracts. See, guys, they're here to make money every single day. Not next week, not next year, next month. Every day, all the way till next year, etc. All right. Now, here's some good news. I'm going to get off my high horse, but stay with me, guys, because I'm going to show you a chart and show you the results that you would have made. All right. This is Scott Basset, our U.S. Treasury Secretary, and he's talking about Jerome Powell on Fox News. Now, this is a big deal. Jerome's not going anywhere, but he has like a full year left. So what he talked about was, we are not going to get rid of Jerome, but we're going to name his replacement. And then when that happens, and that's what he says in here, Wall Street is going to listen to his replacement. They don't give a shit anymore. So when his replacement steps in and goes, hey, on, I think it's May of next year, we're going to cut 3 points. That is, Wall Street's looking forward. That's going to send the markets rocking because it's certainty. We know it's coming because Trump's not going to replace him with someone that's not going to answer to Trump, right? So he mentioned December or January, which is a little bit scary because they could float us all the way out until, say, January, and then kick off altcoin season. Now, I got news for you guys. Unless something changes, I'm going to be 75% out this year. That was my original plan. I will stay in it forever, but I will not have my big bags waiting and hoping that this is the longest cycle in history. Just not going to do it. And you do with it as you will. But I'm still going to play the game, guys, until it's over. All right, here's what kicked off this video, guys. Now, again, I've been telling everyone, right? You guys, you know, when people talk about the future of blockchain and crypto and payments and DeFi and gaming, they think it's going to happen in our echo chamber of crypto. No, guys. The banking reset is happening right in front of us. No one wants to acknowledge it, especially in the XRP community or the ISO community. But look at this. Goldman Sachs and Bank of Mellon joined forces to transform 1.7 trillion money market industry into digital assets. You know how they go, oh, in 2030, there's going to be $30 trillion tokenized. Well, there you go, guys. They're 7.1 with their blockchain. They can't be beat, guys. Think about it. And I say this with love, guys. This is just a fudging reality. How many customers does Ripple have? Does Algorand have to tokenize their assets? Zero. Fudging zero. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they got partnerships. Dude, they don't have partnerships access to their customers. When BlackRock wants to tokenize its asset, it wants to make all that money, not just from their customers, from the transaction fees, from stable coins, from moving it around. JP Morgan wants to do the same. Bank of Mellon, Goldman Sachs, Visa, MasterCard, they're all creating their own tech. They're not going to let people make all the money. So, we can still make great money like on an Ondo project, but I promise you in 10 years, Ondo, no one even know what that word means. All right. Now, Jamie Dimon just came out and said that FinTechs is an enormous competitive threat to banks. I can hear it now. Oh, well, see, told you, Ray. They're talking about XRP. They're talking about XLM. No, they're not. Here's what they're talking about. Guys, this is the big boys. See, people don't even know these companies exist. Fiserv does more in a day than Ripple has, or Stellar has, since they've been in existence. So does JP Morgan. So does FIS Global. That's the type of fintech companies that people have no idea about. They're moving money around the world. They're not talking about little Ripple, who's a 10, maybe $15 billion company. They're talking about the up and coming ones. And here's another thing, guys. And again, just giving you the overview. Has nothing to do with Ripple or XRP, but reality is reality. Circle is right now just hit about 65 billion market cap net worth. How much that company's worth. Ripple is around 10 to 15 billion. Ripple's been around 14 years. I think Circle's been around way less than half of that. They're beating them in every category. What are they waiting on? Oh, well, the SEC held them down. Well, good luck. They surpass you in every step of the way. FIS Global's outperforming them. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Visa, everybody's starting to front run these projects that we think is all phenomenal. Now here's another example. Now we're getting into just the reality of what I see, guys. And again, the reason I harp on this is I want you to take profits and not hodl and get aggressive. It's not financial advice, it's your money. But if you understand what I'm saying, you've got a fighting chance. All right. This is a project that I think is phenomenal. It's a story, and we all know, guys, with intellectual property and AI and the fake videos they can make, and they can clone you and clone me, and now, well, that's going to be a big deal. There's going to be lawsuits. The AI videos that are coming out now are so, deep fakes are so good. I mean, they're this close to you not being able to tell. So another level or two, you're not going to be able to distinguish between this video and fake Uncle Ray, period. So if you lock in your intellectual property, everything that goes on the blockchain, you'll be able to track it and say, hey, this is a fake. Even though it may not look fake, you can see it, and then you can go after it. Well, here's what I want you to think across the board, guys, and I know you don't like hearing this, but this is just the reality. There's big dogs, really big dogs that run the world. The JP Morgans, the BlackRocks, right? The China banks, the mega corporations that are behind the scenes, that dominate the White House, right? And they have been around forever. Well, they have all the customers. They can change regulation on a blink to help them. And then now that regulation's getting here, they're having the tech. So, and again, the reason I tell you this is if you buy this project, which is a great project, look at the last month. Fudging awesome. People have more than doubled their money. But if they start thinking this is the future, I guarantee you, this project probably has no future. Now, why do I say that? Well, I've been around long enough to see the 2000 dot-com bubble. This is like deja vu. But here's why I'm going to tell you. No matter how good this project is, these are nobodies. And I say that with love. No matter how great they are, how smart they are, they don't rule the world. They don't have the money, the power, but better yet, they don't have the customers. And guys, they have some pretty decent customers. But guess who's going to take those? Who do you think is going to dominate that space? IBM seeks to transform corporate patents with next generation NFTs using the IBM blockchain. And when you go back down, they talk about intellectual property with the IBM blockchain. And when I tell you tokens are not going to be needed, they're not the future for 99% of these projects. Coinbase has a layer 2 that is the number 1 layer 2 out there. No token. IBM, no token. JP Morgan's blockchain, no token. You can go on, and Visa, MasterCard, no token. See, tokens are just to make people rich as kings on the fact that people don't understand it. Now, there's a few projects like XRP, for example. It needs a token. It has to have a token, because if it didn't, it would have all the bots like you see in my comments. But that's why it's so cheap, and it doesn't make any money, because it's not meant to be speculated on. People just chose to do that. It's a utility token with really, it's just gas fees. I don't want to get into all that, but my point about that is, guys, if you understand what I'm saying, you'll get aggressive and you'll damn sure not hodl. All right. Now let's if you don't want to take profits, that's fine. But just let's walk through H-bar. This is just an example. Love H-bar. Sold H-bar early. Damn glad I did. Put that money on. But this is pretty representative of a lot of tokens, especially the Dino type tokens, the older tokens. But let's just walk through what would have happened if you would got your initial investment out and take handfuls along the way. And if you want to keep buying H-bar because you're still bullish, let's walk through it. All right. At the end of last year, just sitting around, damn things at 14 cents, and we were happy to get to 14 cents. And look at this wick. It spiked up to 43 cents. Now, what happened? This is basically in like 2-3 days. It dropped 71%. Like that. That's why I shorted it for a month and a half. Now think about that, guys. Here we go. Boom. We hit 43 cents. I was in at 4 and 5 cents. I sold at 20 cents. Okay. I sold early. I could have bought it back for 13. Hell, I can still buy it back for what I bought it if I wanted to get back in. But look at this. Okay. So that happened. Then it crashes 71% and it runs again. Now imagine if you would have took out your initial investment, or hell, just sold all of it at 43 cents. So then, about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, it drops 42% again. Oh, I love H-bar. I'm going to stack it. Well, okay. Then, a month later, in a blink of an eye, it drops 69, almost 70% again. So think about it, guys. If you started taking profits and grab handfuls every time it pumps, you're golden. Now, let's look at, just like now, how many people have been yelling, altcoin season, altcoin season. Imagine what it's like for the people that stepped in and bought it back then. The Dino token pump, they all dumped 52, including XRP, all the way down to like 80 cents or 80%. So imagine all that retail, all those people buying at those prices, just like buying XRP at $3.92 back in 2018. You hold it forever. They're having to hold it for 7+ months. And then finally, H-bar comes back, and look, the people that bought it just last week or this week, here we go. In a blink of an eye, these guys are down 24%. Guys, and that 43 may be the high of this bull run. 90% of all tokens don't hit a new all-time high in its second bull run, and the ones that don't have bad tokenomics. That would be H-bar. Now guys, I'm not harping on H-bar. I really believe H-bar is one of the best projects out there. Doesn't mean it's the best investment, but it has bad tokenomics. Now once it gets fully diluted, it may be the number one, number two altcoin in the next bull run. Would not shock me in the least. But we'll revisit that later. All right, guys. So my point is, guys, Wall Street is coming fast and hard. They have all the customers. They're running the world. None of this technology is special. None of it. It's all open source and code. And Wall Street is greedy. This is a blood sport, guys. Y'all are thinking like you're in a knife fight. It's a gunfight, guys, with bigger, badder competitors. So the future belongs to Wall Street when it comes to this technology. Now, that's going to open the door to a lot more sophisticated, some of the most sophisticated financial instruments that we've ever seen. Most people are not going to understand them, just like they don't understand crypto. People don't even understand crypto that's been in it for 10 years. They still don't understand tokenomics. They still lie to you about tokenomics. Still don't understand market cap. Anyway, guys, that's enough of a rant, but I'm here to tell you, I know about 20 people that have already made life-changing gains. They have locked them in. They're not sweating this bull run, right? They've been taking profits along the way. Now, that reminds me, someone mentioned in my comments, they're like, look, when I'm using Coinbase or Kraken, I can't just take a handful all the time. It costs me as much as I put in. That's true, guys. If you have a small account, you got to get into, I would highly recommend, not financial advice, you get your money into like a phantom account and stay the hell away from anything that needs Ethereum, right? You can open up, you put $1,000 into a phantom account, you can trade everything on Sui and Solana, Base. It's a great, and it doesn't cost you pretty much anything once that money's out there. I get it. I try to stay the hell. If I got two choices of a project that is an Ethereum base and I got to use like my Coinbase wallet or whatever, I stay away from it. The money that, when I do trades, I do it, maybe you can do it. I'd highly recommend, guys, just something to consider. Learn to use a DEX like Hyperliquid, like DTCC exchange. Great place to trade. I think what is it, Phoenix, and they're based out of Florida, I believe. It's got pretty low fees, and I believe you can even short on that outside of a few states. And then, guys, consider using a VPN and say MEXC. You can transfer, if you only got $500 and you transfer $500 and you buy it, transfer it into a different wallet. There's a lot of ways around it, but either way, I understand that is a problem. But that being said, guys, sitting around with our finger up our tail waiting for altcoin season. And like I did that video yesterday talking about comparing how much it takes for us to get just 10x's from here across the board. It's virtually impossible. But if you think about it, if they get you to FOMO in, you've been doing it for 3.5 years. We're all guilty of it. They extract money, you bleed, right? It's a blood sport. So guys, if you need some help understanding how to take profits or someone to take a look at your portfolio, I got you covered from A to Z. You got to have a strategy that works. We're getting into the home stretch. It's time to pay attention. For me, I want to bet on the downside. The upside's all positive, right? If you have altcoin season, see, people are like, oh, well, that was stupid taking all those profits. Really? So think about the people that started with, $10,000 3 years ago, and now they just been taking little handfuls, 50%, double their money. Every once in a while they catch a pump. Now let's say they got 75,000. Guys, they're in the 10% club. They can take their 10,000 out. They're 20. They doubled their money. They tripled their money. They quadrupled the money. They still got more money to start altcoin season. Triple the money they had to start altcoin season. But they have no risk. They played to win. They were winning all along the way. The people that are just waiting for hope and hype, no wonder 90% of people lose money. Think about it, guys. When is the top? You tell me. I wish it was that simple. Now, there's a lot of TA people who will tell you, oh, it's going to be on this date. Yeah, well, we know how that works out. But think about it, guys. Let's go back to H-bar. And again, I love H-bar. I'll probably stack it. Used to be my biggest bag. I'll probably stack it again in the wintertime or in the bear market. But let's think about it. 90% of all altcoins don't hit a new all-time high in its second bull run. That's a probability. It doesn't mean it's a fact. It's a probability. So let's say it's true. If you didn't take profits on H-bar at 43 cents, you damn sure ain't going to take it at 52 cents. I think 55, 56 is all-time high. People are going to be just getting started. Oh, $2, $2.50, $5 H-bar. What if it's 49 cent H-bar? What if it's already hit its new all-time high? What if you think it's going to $1 and it goes to 98 cents? So y'all all talking about, oh, well, if it goes to 250, I'm going to be there for it. Okay. I'm not. Maybe with an ounce of my money. That was my initial plan. You can ride it as long as you want. But to be in that 10% club, guys, look, this is a 4-year cycle. You got nothing to show for it? Now look, granted, I get it, guys. If you only got $1,000 and you want a Lambo, buy some meme coins, but you're probably already wrecked, and you know that. But I want to say this, and I'll let you go. All right, well, let's back up, and then I'm going to say something and let you go. Guys, I've got a coaching course for your portfolio. We take a look at it with Zoom call. It gives you everything you need. I have a shorting course, which I truly believe, I love shorting this market. It's the best, most consistent way to be in crypto and have an inner circle. So if you need some help, reach out. Now, that being said, guys, I mentioned this in my last video. And again, if you didn't watch the last video, I'll pin it at the very end. Click on it. It's some good alpha. But someone said, look, if you got only like $1,000, it doesn't make sense to take profit at, 50% or whatever. Well, guys, you put $1,000 in the stock market, that's 3 or 4 years to make that kind of money. But the formula works. It just works better the more you got. But think about it. Go back from the beginning of this cycle for people that started with 1,000. And all of a sudden, they doubled their money. Boom. They took out their initial investment. Now they put it on the side to buy new projects that come up or the dip. Right? So now they've doubled their money. Yeah, it's only 2,000, but it pumps another 50%. Well, they just take a handful, right? Take that. Take a handful. Take 500. Now they got 2,500. Yes, it crashes. Well, they buy it back. They got all this extra powder. Whereas if they weren't doing that, they're watching that 1,000 go to 2,000. Now it's back at 1,000. Now it's back at 500. One guy made a chunk of more than doubled his money. Right? Think about it, guys. And I say this with love. But it doesn't matter if you had $1,000. If you caught that pump with $1,000, you got 5,000 or 6,000. But guess what? You rode it all the way back down for 7 months. What if you'd had that 5,000 or 6,000 to put to work? You turned 1,000 into 5,000 or 6,000 and rode it back down to 2,000. And sweated it for 7 months. What about the opportunity cost, guys? Like the people go, oh, I'm proud of you for holding XRP and you're going to get your money back after 7 years. Man, you could have bought the S&P index and more than doubled your money. You could have bought Bitcoin and 7x'd your money. Even if you bought the absolute high tick. There's an opportunity cost. There's an opportunity cost when you decide to hodl, no matter what project. And I know I'm on my high horse, but this is very important, guys. I hope you're still with me. Guys, there's an opportunity cost. You have $10,000. You turn it into just 50. Just 50. But you take it. And we go into the bear market because the bear market's coming. You can write that down. Now, it may not come for all of them. This may be different in that form. But these shit tokens, they're going down 90%. Well, what if you bought them back? What if H-bar goes to 55 cents and you caught a 5-6X and you made $50,000 from 10, and in January of 2027, it's back to 5 cents. You get to stacking it. Tokenomics are better. Getting all this good news. You do it again. That's my suggestion, guys. But anyway, just remember this. You know, I've never been around a wealthy person that called facts and data and math FUD. And most people, every wealthy, not rich, wealthy. The difference between rich and wealthy is rich are the pro athletes. Wealthy's the guy that writes his checks. Right? They think two different ways. Right? And wealthy people, they only care, what are my risks? If I went to someone with talk about crypto and talk about any project, if I went there and talked about XRP and they go, hey Ray, what are my risks? Who's my biggest competition? I would say JP Morgan, FIS Global, Swift, Visa, MasterCard, all the same power players. PayPal. He'd be like, he would laugh me out of the house. Now, if I hit him up with, well, wait a minute, that's the risk, but you got an army behind it, and they'll believe anything, and they'll hodl. Dude, we can get an easy 5X or something. Maybe he wants to play, but he wants to know the entire picture. See how that works, guys? People think when I throw what they call FUD on a project, no, we got to have the full picture. What's the risk? Just like Jamie Dimon, you know when he said FinTech poses a risk to banking? He said that to his customers on a conference call that they have, a quarterly update where people around the world that are invested millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in JP Morgan. That's their boy. That's their bank. But what did he do? He looked them right in the eye and said, man, we got competition. That's why you know they're not going to lose. They fucking know we're coming. And they're going to be fine. But he didn't go, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We got it. I know all this great tech's coming on. I know no one has to deposit. I know all these regulations are coming. Just keep your money in the bank. No, he said, look, you got $100 million with JP Morgan. It might start getting rocky, but here's what we're going to do about it. And we don't lose. We've been around for 200 years. We bailed out the U.S. government. We own the majority stake of the Fed. We don't lose. That's what he said. All right, that's all I'm going to do. Hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you need some help, guys, reach out. But either way, come back. be part of this community. And whether you agree with me or not, guys, it's something to think about. You can't be an ostrich, just put your head in the sand. And I'm still bullish, but I truly believe the game is changing, and you better get to extracting like the big boys. Take care, guys.